Okay, so today we're diving deep into a really anticipated one, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It's landing in 2025, and it sounds incredibly personal.
Absolutely. We've got a bunch of sources here, and they all point to this being, well, radically different from what you might expect.
Our mission then is to really get into those sources, see what makes this version tick, the director's vision, the emotional core, the casting.
Right. Because this isn't just another monster flick. Del Toro actually called the original novel the pinnacle of everything.
But he's also been really clear, hasn't he? He said, I'm not doing a horror movie ever.
Exactly. The sources describe it as an emotional epic, a dark reimagining, yeah, based on the 1818 novel, but the focus is tragedy, pure tragedy.
So if it's not about the scares, the external horror, where's the focus?
It's all internal landscapes. It's about ambition, the burden of that ambition, and failure, specifically the failure of connection.
He talks a lot about the father-son dynamic, right?
Right. He does. And sources really link this directly to his own feelings about fatherhood, about creation and responsibility, maybe even rejection. It's less spectacle, more ethical cost.
That makes the casting choices feel even more deliberate then. Let's
Yeah.
start with Victor Frankenstein, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, described as brilliant but egotistical.
Yeah.
So already moving away from just mad scientist.
Del Toro apparently needed his eyes.
Right. He needed Isaac's eyes, specifically to show that Victor is tortured, but also that he thinks he's doing good, that moral murkiness.
That's key. The hubris, but also the self-torment, not just a villain.
Precisely. And then you have the creature. This is maybe the biggest shift. Jacob Elordi.
Because Del Toro needed his eyes to show innocence, which is just worlds away from the usual portrayal.
It really is the core idea. It gives the creature immediate interiority, vulnerability, agency even. He's not just the monster. He's arguably a protagonist here.
Protagonist defined by rejection.
Exactly. And rounding out that main trio is Mia Goth as Elizabeth Lavenza. She's got that gothic genre background.
She fits perfectly as the sort of emotional anchor, the moral counterweight to Victor.
That seems to be the idea. So with all this focus on emotion, they had to change the look too. Ditching the classic Frankenstein image is bold,
Hugely bold, after almost a century of that iconic look.
but necessary for what he calls Gothic romanticism. The sources are explicit. No flat head, no bolts, no green skin, none of that 1931 Universal stuff.
So what is the look then?
It emphasizes raw flesh,
Go.
scars, the eyes again. It's about showing the suffering, the humanity, not a caricature.
And even the period details are tweaked. I saw that quote where Del Toro said, I don't want any top hats.
Yeah, he didn't want that costume museum feel. It's
Yeah.
about creating an atmosphere, a texture that supports the emotional drama, not just ticking historical boxes.
It all feeds back into making the creature central, exploring identity, empathy.
It's a complete reorientation. Okay, so for you listening, when can you actually see this? It premiered back at the Venice Film Festival, August 30th, 2025.
Right. And there's a limited theatrical run starting October 17th, 2025. Probably the best way to see those visuals we talked about.
For sure. But the big global release, the one most people will catch, is on Netflix. That hits November 7th, 2025.
So, summing this up, what we've seen from the sources is that Del Toro's Frankenstein really isn't about the shock value of creation.
No, it's about the fallout. The emotional cost of playing God seen through Isaac's tortured Victor.
And the deep tragedy of being abandoned, being rejected, which seems central to Elordi's innocent creature.
Yeah. Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe. If Del Toro puts so much emphasis on the creature's vulnerability, his inherent innocence, what does that do to how we define the monster in this story?
Does it shift the idea of monstrosity entirely?
Maybe the real horror isn't the creature himself, but just the failure to connect, paternal failure. Something to think about while you wait for November.